Hi there, Scorpios. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Astrogirl, and here is your forecast for June 16 through 22. And it's going to be an interesting week indeed for you, with the sun moving into Cancer, your fellow water sign, over the weekend, Mercury continuing his retrograde ways, and of course Pluto, your co-ruler, continuing to be out of phase, Neptune out of phase in your romance zone, Saturn out of phase in your communication zone. So while I have very little good news, I know that Scorpios, you are probably the toughest sign in the zodiac, and you can pretty much deal with anything and anyone. I do know, however, that having to change something that you're used to is extremely difficult for many of you. I have a very close Scorpio friend who had lived in the same apartment in New York for 27 years and had to leave the apartment. She was in a rent control and they changed all the laws there. And her having to leave pretty much the only home she'd been in was really difficult for her, and to the fact that she's almost has to be hospitalized. She's so sick with the flu and all that sort of thing, and had to move much further uptown and didn't have the doorman and all the luxuries she had. And I know that that would have been stressful, but for anybody else, they would have said, oh, we had a good run. We were in a rent control. Let's try some other area. She's not looking at it that way. And I just feel like Scorpios, it's such a blessing and a burden to have that strength, to have that stubborn side that, get in a, your nesting instinct is very strong. And if anything, if anyone can get through anything, it's you. But getting through it can be tough for you. And it's really opened my eyes to how Scorpios, do deal with things, especially of such a personal nature as your home. So hopefully you're not moving, because moving while Mercury's retrograde is not a good idea, or is travel. It's really a time to rethink, review, revise, do some research, and just hold tight until Mercury moves direct, which it will, thankfully, at the end of June. Have a great week. Great speaking to you, and I look forward to speaking to you again next week.